Everyone, and welcome to another edition of Tanya Talks. I'm your host, Tanya Ricketts, and tonight we are going to be having the live discussion of what it means to live a life of gratitude. Our returning guest from last week, the Power of Words, is Shamina Jarraj, who is a Reiki practitioner. She's also a psychotherapist for emotional hygiene, and I love that, emotional hygiene, and also a pharmacist. We also have joining us a returning guest, Neelam Herji, who is an educator, founder of Flow, Glow, Grow. It's always a tongue twister for me, and specializing in meditation practices, coaching children and families and individuals to learn what it's like to be more mindful within their own life. Also, Neelam also has a background with energy work as a Reiki master as well. So ladies, thank you for coming back this evening to join us with what it looks like to live a life of gratitude.
Thank you so much Tanya for having us once again.
Thank you, Tanya.
It was fun last week, and I'm looking forward to just bringing that same flavor tonight as we talk about gratitude. I'm just going to start with you, Shamina, and just ask you what that looks like for you, living a life of gratitude. I know for myself, it has changed the scope of my entire life, of allowing me to be at more peace with a lot of things just by centering myself in positioning and anchoring my soul in gratitude. So what does that look like for you?
So Tanya, I was born in a third world country. And so I have seen suffering and poverty very closely. So if you have food on the table, we'll be thankful for it because we will know that other people may not be as fortunate, right? So for me, I think it brought me back to the basic necessities of life, like food, water, shelter. You know, our parents expected us to finish the food that is on the plate and not to waste it.
Yes.
And only take it, as much as you're going to finish, right? So not to waste it. And there was always a reminder that, remember, other people may not be as fortunate, so that was very big, and it was very instilled in me when I was very young. But I would like to explore a little bit about with our audience as to what it means when we say gratitude, right? What does that mean?
Let's begin.
And I found this definition in a psychiatry paper, which sort of resonated with me, and I thought we can explore that together in the session. So what in that paper, they define gratitude as the appreciation of what is valuable and meaningful to oneself, and represents a general state of thankfulness and or appreciation, right? So it's not like an automatic thought, okay, I'm thankful for this or I'm thankful for that or whatever it is. But it really makes you think a little bit, it makes you go a little bit deeper into the gratitude and really reflect in your life of what is valuable to you. What is meaningful to you, and what do you appreciate in your life, right? So when you feel that, and the important thing is here, we will explore that more in detail, but I think the important thing is to really feel that in your body, to really be grateful for it, right? And when you feel it in your body, then magic happens.
Yes.
Yeah,
I can say that. I don't know, Neelam, how you feel about this when Shamina's saying it. When you talk about feeling it in your body, how different your body feels in that moment versus just saying thank you. Just,
right.
Mindlessly saying thank you versus being mindful of saying thank you.
Right. So I was going to ask Neelam to put that slide of a water crystal that we talked about last week in the when we were talking about the power of words. So this was the shape of the water crystal. after you were saying thank you to the water. This happened after. And beside it, actually, there's two pictures where if you say thank you in French, then it looks a little bit more elegant, I think. And then it's beautiful. And then there is another one, another different type of like a water crystal that forms when you say in the African language in Zulu, right? So you can say that the words are really sounds, and when you say that from your body or to yourself as well, because you are also 70% water, right? And you can see the effect right away, and it shows in this pictures very clearly.
Yeah, so no matter what language you speak, whether it's shukriya or merci beaucoup or whatever the case may be, in terms of the language that you're using, but you're feeling that thank you and you're feeling that gratitude and you're expressing it to yourself and others, you will then see it affects you. The energy that you cultivate, you will actually feel this expansion. And we're going to dive more into that as well.
So I'm asking, when you're saying appreciating somebody else, is that energy, like tell our audience, is that energy transfer over to that other person as well?
Oh, I can't wait to dive into that. That's actually the brain chemistry.
Okay. All right.
That we're going to get into.
I had no idea. So I was thinking about when you were saying that, and I was like, oh.
That's exactly it. So you know what? Actually, let's actually dive into that. That what actually happens to our cells and our brain actually when we're actually saying thank you, when we're cultivating that energy. And I'm just going to kind of go into the next slide.
Yeah.
So in our brain, what actually happens is we have hormones and chemicals. Gratitude is actually associated with happiness, believe it or not. So we have chemicals in our bodies that induces the state of happiness. So when we're saying gratitude, when we're saying thank you to ourselves or others, when we're in that cultivating that appreciation, there's actually chemistry. There's chemistry in your brain that is changing. The chemicals are changing. And I always like to use this acronym called DOSE to remind me of the chemicals that are like kind of working and at play. So DOSE actually stands for dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphin. So if you look at this chart right here, dopamine is like the reward chemical, oxytocin is the love hormone, serotonin is the mood stabilizer, and endorphin is the painkiller. So you can see where kind of gratitude actually falls everywhere, to be quite honest. All the chemicals are working, but research shows that there's an increase in dopamine and serotonin levels in the brain. So that's why when you're actually, like you said, when you're in that energy of gratitude, not just saying it mindlessly, but actually feeling it, you can actually feel a change in your body happening. Absolutely. Because the chemistry of your brain is changing, which is so fascinating. And what happens is also the stress hormone of cortisol also decreases. So as you're expressing gratitude, all these dose, the dose, I like to say like the vitamin G that you're giving to yourself, gratitude to yourself, all these chemicals increase, but your stress hormones decreases. So that's why you notice a shift that happens in you. At the same time, cognitive restructuring happens. So you start to kind of shift from that negative thinking to almost like a positive. It's almost like, what was I angry about again? Right? When you go into that space of gratitude, you're like, oh yeah, what was that again? Like sometimes you can't even remember what it was because you've just had a shift in energy, but also in chemistry in your body, especially in your brain. And
I think, Neelam, what I'm going to be doing here from now on is every day I'm going to live from the space of I require my dose of gratitude.
Yes, vitamin G.
Vitamin G.
Vitamin G. I require my dose of vitamin G. I like that. So all you guys out there, everybody requires their daily constant dose of vitamin G, right?
Exactly.
And like Neelam was saying, it's impossible to be negative when you are actually in the state of gratitude. Right? It's impossible.
Yeah, because remember, your mind can only process one moment at a time, right? So if you're in the moment of gratitude, it will not hold on to the moment that you were before. You can only be in this now moment. And if your now moment is in this dose of vitamin G of gratitude, then that's where the energy is shifting, right? And that's where you're kind of taking off then to your next moment, right?
Right.
So that's basically it. But I wanted to show you also within this chart some of the things that you can do to increase your dose. Okay, so gratitude absolutely is a huge one. But even when you, for example, when you complete a task, right, or a chore, a big chore, maybe you've had to declutter something, a room, you just feel like there's a chemical that releases. You just know, you're like, oh, I feel great. I did it. You know, I decluttered that closet or the basement or the garage, right? There's that place of appreciation that comes in that I did it. And that's actually the dopamine level. Doing any self-care tasks, eating food, you know, celebrating little wins. Your oxytocin has to do with relationship and bonding. So playing with your dog or cat, if you have any pets. When we see a newborn baby or a little baby, we're always going, oh, so cute. That's our oxytocin right there, playing in our brain. You know, holding a loved one's hand, hugging your family, giving a compliment, right? That's the oxytocin. So these are all activities or little things in your life. When you're doing them, maybe we don't realize, but this is the chemistry of the brain, like what's happening in our brain. In terms of serotonin, that's our mood stabilizer. So meditating, running, sun exposure. I know, you know, especially in the summer, a lot of us were outside, you know, getting all the sun rays. That's really helping to increase our serotonin levels, walking in nature, swimming, cycling. And then our endorphins are painkillers. So, you know, laughter exercise, you know, there's laughing yoga, for example. Some people participate in that. Well, that's because their endorphins are going up. Essential oils are huge in that, you know, especially I love lavender oil. Right. Watching a comedy. Who doesn't love chocolate? How amazing do we feel when we eat that dark chocolate sometimes, right?
Yes.
Or even exercising. You know, we may kind of be a little bit maybe like, oh, hesitant in starting the exercise, but how wonderful do we feel when we've completed the exercise?
Right.
So these are all these chemicals that are in our brain that are at work. And they actually, what happens is when you're in the state of gratitude, there is a part of your brain in the anterior cortex of your brain, actually, which is part of the cerebral cortex that fires up. It lights up, literally. And that's because all these connections are happening now. These new connections are happening. So imagine if you were actually practicing gratitude, cultivating gratitude on a daily basis. What is actually happening to your brain?
And somebody's writing in here, can you post these slides in your page? Yes, we can. They are
Sure,
awesome.
We absolutely can. Absolutely.
So thank you.
Sure, we can share. And moving forward from that, if we know that there's chemistry happening or changes happening in our brain, well, we know that ultimately, like you said, you feel different, right, from that space. So we have a lot of benefits that I'd love to share with our audience today as to what happens to us in terms of psychology, in terms of our physical nature. What is happening to us when we're practicing gratitude? There's so many benefits. So physically, studies, there's so many studies out there, but they've all kind of reported the same, which is there's stronger immune system, there's less body aches and pains, optimum blood pressure and cardiac functioning, there's better sleep. I'll be honest with you, I do my gratitude journaling. I do a little bit differently every day, but I do it at night. Before I go to sleep, I'm writing my gratitudes out, and I'll share other ways as to how we can practice gratitude on a daily basis. But I do get better sleep. I find I do get deeper sleep, actually. Psychological benefits, positive emotions and thoughts, more awareness. You tend to be more aware, just like Shamina said, like, you know, you're aware of the food that is on your table. You're aware of, you know, the farmers and the whole journey of the food that came into play that allowed it to be on your table, and now for you to be able to be digesting it, you know, into your body. There's that increased awareness that you just become more open to and just express that gratitude naturally. Your self-esteem and self-satisfaction within yourself increases. It's definitely a mood enhancing and stabilizer as well. There's also social benefits. You'll find there's better communication. Your relationships get stronger. You enhance, you know, empathy. You reduce aggression because, again, those cortisol levels, right? The stress hormone is decreasing while those other hormones and chemicals are going up. It opens the doorway to more connections and more relationships. And I'm sure Shamina and Tanya, you can attest to that, where you just seem to be growing and growing your circle, right, of contacts. And you're like, where are they coming from? But okay, come on in. Right? And it comes from that space of when we're cultivating and practicing this gratitude. It really is a way of life. It's not just a word, but it's really a way of life to practice gratitude. So these are just some of the benefits that we wanted to share with the audience today.
Well, thank you very much.
And I just
And it's
wanted to
living,
say,
I was
like,
going
you
to
know,
say, sorry,
yeah,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead, Tanya.
No, go.
I was just
Go.
going to say, you know, when with the brain, when Neelam was explaining about how it has changes in your brain, it's basically, you know, when the neurons are fired together, they're wired together. So as when you practice more gratitude, then your brain becomes accustomed to noticing more of those things in your life,
Yes.
right? So then you get more of those things. And even like, you know, as Neelam was explaining, the neurotransmitters that make you elevated, feel like happier, you know, they increase as well in your body. So we were talking about the frequency, you know, last week. And I don't know if you want to bring that chart up, but you can see that, you know, when you are in the lower levels of this chart, where there is anger or there is fear, there is shame or guilt, your vibration and the frequency is also low. So you're not feeling, you know, upbeat, you're not feeling even like optimistic about life. But as you can see, when you go a little bit higher, your frequency also increases. And I was actually a little bit surprised to see is that if you look at love, it's actually below gratitude.
I was gonna say, isn't that kind of
right?
a little bit of shock?
Yeah. So gratitude actually, it lifts you up higher than that. And you know, the analogy that comes to my mind is that, you know, how when you have like a faster car which has like a you know, more horsepower, you get to the point where you want to go quicker, right? So when you are actually dancing or swimming in this, you know, feel good state, and your, you know, your whole body is actually dancing, and when you want to attract something, then you attract that very quickly.
And that's what I was going to ask
so
you.
even
just
like,
in the
you know,
beginning.
when you are grateful, you're actually so yeah.
Oh, that's what I was going to ask you, to make that connection, and you just did, to the heart, that you're elevating on a higher frequency even than the love component of it. And if it's sending that, so I'm going to ask you, is there a connection to the gratitude piece, to the love piece, to the heart, to the brainwaves, and how it fires out those signals when we talk about manifesting, for instance, and we're in that state of gratitude? How does that all kind of tie in together? Did we lose her there?
Oh, I think it's a freeze right now.
I'll say that is it okay now?
Yes. So we didn't hear anything.
So I would say, you know, the state of gratitude is also a state of, you know, being thankful, right? A state of appreciation, whether it's somebody else's, you know, love for you or your love for that person, you know, so it all kind of ties in together. And what's important is that, you know, it lifts you up from if you were down at the beginning, right? And it also makes you aware of the abundance in your life. A lot of times, you know, we think that, oh, I don't have this, or I don't have enough of that. But if you look at each, you know, if you break down your moments, you don't really need that much in your life. And, you know, I also work with in oncology. And I see that there are so many cancer patients, they would give anything just to live one more day. And that day is not like, you know, filled with some party or something big. Those are the ordinary moments that they want to live for, you know, the ordinary moments of, like, you know, having a cup of tea, or even just enjoying the company of their grandson or granddaughter or the wife or the, you know, or the children, just having that one more day, right? And when you see a lot of us who have, like, we are not in that state, and we have everything in life. We have food, we have shelter, we have, clothing, like, and then we are constantly in this state of, oh, I wish I had that. I wish I had, but not noticing.
You're cutting out there.
And we have so much in our life or it's to reflect as to what.
I think we lost you there for a little bit.
Oh, I'm not sure where I got cut off. My internet is not very it's not being nice to me, but I'm glad I'm here.
Right. Well, we're glad you're here.
You're grateful you're here, and
Yeah.
for the little moments that are coming through.
Yes, because we're picking up, we're piecing it all together. That's what we're doing. It's interesting, and I'm bringing this up because it's a big topic for a lot of people that are talking about abundance and gratitude, and I'm going to talk about a money aspect of it, where I say to people, it's when individuals are like, it's not enough and it's not enough. And I say, if you take a $10 bill and put it in front of you and you can connect, like what you're saying, own that gratitude, like, I'm very grateful that I have $10 in this moment. Watch what that $10 does and what shows up in your life. And I know that when I've done in my own practice and I've guided people along on the money principles of that gratitude within their finances, they're so excited. They come back and they're like, I got money from unexpected places. And I said, that's the gratitude, but you owned it. It wasn't just saying thank you for it. It was actually really connecting to the fact that, wow, if I'm not able to be grateful for the $10, how am I going to really, because it's got to do with you. How am I going to be grateful for $100?
And Tanya, just to add to that is also, yes, absolutely be grateful for the things that you have now, for who you are in this moment, yes. But also to kind of be grateful for what's to come. So when I go to sleep at night, I'm like, thank you for all the blessings that are, that showed up today in my life, and for the ones that are yet to come.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's to come my way, but they are going to come if I'm grateful for them. Yeah. So you're also kind of projecting in the future, not knowing what is to come your way, but you're just thankful for it. Thank you for the abundance today and for what's to come. This or something better.
And it's almost like you're taking the future and bringing it now. Like you know that it's an absolute. So it's like raising that vibration as it being already. That gratitude, it's like, for me, it's like saying, I would love to test the word amen. Because when people say amen or hallelujah, for instance, where does that leave you? Is it a feeling of absolute, it is done? Is it a feeling, does it sit in the same family of the I ams? Like where does that fit? So it's interesting because gratitude really solidifies that it is done, it's complete, right?
Yes. And also just to kind of allude to what Shamina was saying is it's very, very challenging when we're in a situation that's hard. Yes. We have those days where we're like, yeah, what am I grateful for today? Really? Like everything was not good, right? But it's in those moments where it matters the most. And those are the times where we have to really dig deep because, we're probably, our mind is in complaining mode or whatnot, but we want to just kind of center ourselves. Okay, so this didn't happen the way I wanted to, or this didn't go right, but what simple things did go right for me today, right? How did love show up for me today? What simple way did love show up for me today? That's gratitude, to be grateful for that. And then notice the shift that starts to happen. Right. I can guarantee you from my personal experience on those days where it's been challenging and I've just said, nope, I'm going to sit down. I'm still going to write that gratitude in my gratitude journal, that literally it shifts me. And then I feel like it's a whole new different moment that I'm living. Like I've just woken up again kind of.
Right. So and it's interesting
especially in those moments
when you push yourself in those moments, even in that, it's like I say to people, be grateful for who you are, that you're on this journey, and be grateful that you're doing this work and that you push yourself to do that journal even when you don't feel like it. Like even when you feel grateful for you and appreciate Neelam in that moment, how much more of you show up.
Exactly, exactly.
I think it's great. Somebody's writing in here, if we can't take care of the small things, we can't handle the big
Maybe this would be a good time for us to kind of share some practices. Are we all there? I feel like it's cutting in and out. Okay, we're all here. So since we're talking about like gratitude journal and doing it on a daily basis and making it a way of your life, how can we do this? So, you know, we don't have to start so big. You don't even have to start with a gratitude journal, really. You can do what I call gratitude inserts during your day. So say you're driving and you're at a red traffic light. Look outside and just be grateful for something that you've seen. The fact that you're seeing something, you have the sense of sight to see something. Be grateful in that moment. When you're at a grocery line, or when you wake up, or before you go to sleep, when you're in the shower, you know, even before eating a meal, you know, gratitude towards the food and that whole journey of how the food kind of reached your table. While even you're brushing your teeth, you know, we're on autopilot when we're brushing our teeth all the time, but those are great moments to be grateful for something. The fact that you have teeth, right, to brush even, or during a commercial, TV commercial, right? We usually tune out or we get a snack, just be seated and just be grateful. So I kind of call those gratitude inserts. And those are just so basic, right? Like it takes seconds. So that's something you could try to start off.
Did we lose audience wishes
to try. With my staff, I'm grateful for. And those gratitudes don't have to be always about things. They could be about qualities about you. And I'll get to that a bit later. Recently, actually, I have a few friends from work and we started, you know, we're all going through the stresses of, you know, teaching and things like that, that we started a gratitude WhatsApp group. So all of us write our 3 gratitudes in our WhatsApp group. And even when we're reading someone else's gratitude, you feel joy. Joy just comes, it's like that rippling effect, right? Even if I'm not writing my gratitude, but I'm reading yours, Tanya's, or your, Shamina, I feel gratitude. I feel joy. I feel happy for you.
Well, you can relate
so
to
we
it
started
too.
that. Exactly, exactly.
It was funny, something happened to me.
It
does. Yes, I just got off of a conversation. I was in a conversation earlier, just doing some interviewing earlier on. And in that moment, I was very grateful for the other person and getting to participate in their moment of healing and realization in that moment, and that gratitude for them and being thankful that I could be a part to witness it. And the more in that moment I was grateful in my heart, is the more they started to come alive.
Right. And your bond probably even strengthened more in that moment, right? So it's again, those chemicals working in the brain and then exuding out of you, right?
Yes.
You could definitely do a gratitude board in the workplace. We've done it at school. We had a graffiti gratitude board where we put it up and the students would just write, I'm grateful for, or a gratitude jar where you have Post-it notes nearby, maybe on the kitchen counter, and you can just, your family can write in that. And then this is a great one for New Year's, if anyone wants to try it, and you don't have to wait till New Year's, but you can do a gratitude balloon toss, you know, as you're celebrating the new year as a family or as friends, in your bubble, of course. You know, you get a balloon, right? I'm grateful for, you know, get a Sharpie marker, toss it, and whoever lands on it when the music stops, there to write a gratitude on that balloon and then pass it to the next person, so forth. Again, in your bubble, because we're in COVID times right now, but that's a fun way. And just in that moment, feel the shift. You will feel it. And again, it's not we're saying it, but actually feel the energy of it come out. And then of course, we're gonna actually practice this, but you can also participate in gratitude meditation. And then I just wanted to kind of go into a little bit of gratitude for yourself. So we talked a little bit about we don't need to be necessarily grateful for things. We are enough. We have enough within us to be grateful for. The fact that we're practicing patience when we're having these little, you know, tech issues right now, right, on our call, but we're patient with that. So we're practicing patience. We're grateful for that. Or that maybe you were grateful for showing compassion to somebody today who needed, you know, to kind of release some things. Or again, how did love show up for you today? simply just looking in the mirror and saying, I am grateful for you, Neelam, or I'm grateful for you, Tanya, or Shamina, just looking at yourself, because you are a beautiful being. You are a miracle being, if you really think about it, right? From the time of conception all the way to now, like you are a miracle. And the fact that you exist, that in itself is, you could be grateful for. And then there's a little chart here, and I can certainly, again, share it with your audience.
Yeah.
You may even wish to kind of break things down, like compliments you'd give to yourself. In that, there's gratitude. And we talked a little bit about the obstacles. And when you're looking at your obstacles from an almost like an observer point of view, you start to realize that these obstacles and challenges are actually here to teach you something. You're here to learn. And I know this could be a whole different session as well, but they're really here to make you grow in some way. I know sometimes we're like, oh, I'm having a breakdown. And I always think of, actually, no, you're having a break open, because you're going to evolve from this somehow.
Yes.
We don't realize it in that moment. Absolutely, we don't. But if we would look back at our challenges and say, oh, I had to go through that to get to this. It's like I say, connecting the dots. Yeah. And to extend gratitude to those challenges and those obstacles, because it got you to another place in your evolving journey. And then, of course, people you're grateful for, or even the assets you have in your life that you're grateful for. So these are just some suggestions. There are so many out there, but we thought these were ones that we personally have practiced and that have been beneficial to us that we'd like to share with your audience today. So that's some practices that you can take away.
Thank you.
Maybe, no problem. Shamina, did you want to add anything to that?
I just wanted to add to the obstacle list. So, we've seen that we have so much benefits of, gratitude living, right? They do so much for us, but then, still there are some obstacles that are real, right? And we touched a little bit about those, but then I would say a lot of times, people don't appreciate what they have. And we talked about that. They always think that the grass is greener on the other side, right? So why would I be grateful for one car when that person has 10 cars, right? That's valid. But you don't know, you're not in that person's shoes. You're just having like a snapshot of that person in that 10 car image. Right? But you don't know what kind of life he has, or, if he has other challenges in his life. So really gratitude brings you to yourself, home to yourself, and saying, okay, so what am I grateful for? So, focus on yourself and in the moment too, right? Because a lot of times we get lost also in the past, right? That, that didn't happen, or I went through this, or whatever, or we are so much in the future where, I want this, and I want to get there, but you forget the present moment.
The present moment, yes.
Right? And
the present moment is like a minute ago. If we look at even in this moment right now, a minute ago is actually the past. A minute from now is actually the future, but all we have is this moment.
Exactly.
So,
and that's all we have.
Yes. So
and
it's
I just
how do we
wanted
let
to
go
add,
of,
Shamina,
yeah,
to the fact that in gratitude, the power of gratitude even humbles you.
Yes.
There's a space of when you are truly in that energy where you've cultivated gratitude within yourself, you just feel so humble and filled with humility. Like there have been times literally with family, with friends, and even sometimes by myself, where I have felt so much gratitude that I have tears coming down my eyes. And I'm not sad, but I'm just so filled with gratitude and humility that, wow, this blessing was showered upon me, or wow, this happened for somebody else. And I'm so grateful for them that I have tears coming down my eyes. I don't know if you've experienced that before, Tanya or Shamina, but it has. And that's what I realized, that, wow,
still
this
happens.
is really a powerful force.
Well, it's funny because when we talk about it, even you saying it, your body's relaxed. Like when you talk about the humbleness, but it's relaxed, but it's open. Like it's so, I want to say, like, I like the idea, and thank you very much for sharing the science behind it. Cause I always like the scientific aspect mixed with the spiritual, like it all coming together. Yeah. And you really, like when you understand and work on feeling how your body feels in connection with everything going on. And that gratitude, yes, you guys are right, that all of a sudden your body just it's so open. And it's
And
like
that's
this,
how it connects to love. You were saying, how does
yes,
gratitude and love? Because love opens you up, and so does gratitude, right?
right.
It's a heart opener. Yeah.
And it's almost like a vacuum, like it's like it vacuums in all the great stuff of that moment of whatever you're grateful for. I do this to this very day. And I did it this morning. I'll do it tonight. My family laughs at me because I sleep with a mirror beside my bed because I do mirror work. And the question is, in the here and now, who am I? And in that moment of who I am, I answer that honest question to myself in that moment of who I am. And I work to find, because we're so busy criticizing ourselves, and I work to find the good things that who I am in that moment of love, of peace, of generosity, of purpose, and in that moment, when I can go to that place, I feel that sense of gratitude. When we talk about personal gratitude, I'm grateful that I house those characteristics to be able to share with the world. And what makes me want to share that generosity. And I'm grateful that I house that. And I feel that that's beneficial. The who am I coupled with the gratitude of who am I? Because we all have things about us that we really admire and we celebrate and we appreciate.
Yeah.
Yes, and we might have very sort of diverse audience, but I just wanted to make one comment about, like, sometimes some people think that they have to be in gratitude, they have to thank something other than, like, higher than themselves, right? Now everybody is in a different spiritual journey or a different journey of their life, right? They may not connect to the higher power or God or whatever it is, right? So having gratitude in your life and appreciation in your life, it doesn't mean that you have to, like, connect to that. You can just appreciate what you have and really be thankful. It doesn't have to go there if that's, not your cup of tea.
Right.
So, that might be something that some people might be having challenges, and they might be questioning their spirituality. Okay, so who am I thanking, really?
Good point.
That's
Good
in my
point.
life, right?
Yes.
So it's just a state of, appreciation of what is valuable in your life. What do you appreciate in your life?
So I have somebody writing in here, which I think touches on that. So if you can answer that with that is, do you need to like yourself to cultivate gratitude? Because I think you're touching upon that right now.
Sorry, what was the question again?
Do you need to like yourself to cultivate gratitude?
So, you know what? I think a lot of us are having challenges with this one. This is a very big issue, and maybe like a talk by itself, because the way we relate to ourselves is very hard sometimes, very harsh, right? We criticize ourselves the way we wouldn't even, like, tell a stranger, right? So basically, gratitude, you don't have to like yourself, but you can actually sort of dig a little bit deeper down and say, okay, so what do I appreciate about myself? And, that question about liking yourself or not, I would actually ask the audience that, what is it that makes you don't like yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
And reflect on that.
So
And
can
reflect on that.
So can they, Shamina, like when you were talking about maybe they're not there on their spiritual journey, can that tie into that, where maybe they can learn the practice of maybe appreciating maybe the material things just to start to generate that energy?
Yes. Yes.
Exactly.
Correct. You know what? With the gratitude, pick on something that you really appreciate. If you don't appreciate yourself right now, if you really, I would say that if you really knew yourself, then there is no way you're not going to appreciate and love yourself. But maybe you're not there. So start with something small, right? Something very small, like a cup of tea, or if you have a pet, or if you enjoy nature, whatever it is. Start from there, and then you build yourself up. And when you start, looking at these relationships, then it will help you get to know yourself more.
If I can just add from a personal experience, and I know I kind of alluded to this last week, like 10 years ago, where I was not in a good space. I will be very honest, I was not grateful for anything. I mean, I was not writing good things in my journal then, but there was a shift that happened one day when I did. I think I was listening to Deepak Chopra or something, and he said something about, I'm like, okay, let me try it. Like, okay, I'm in this rut. I'm not feeling happy, but I'm going to write. Okay, what am I grateful for? Okay, not my life right now, that's for sure. But I found something. I found something. Okay, and I started to write. And then I said, okay, tomorrow I'm going to write 2 things. Okay, the next day I'm going to write 3 things. And I tell you, it was such a shift for me. So I understand, and whoever wrote this, question, I sympathize with you, and I totally understand. But realize that there's things happening in your brain. You're changing the chemistry of your brain when you are writing, simple things. And I don't want to say writing or even thinking the simple things that you're grateful for. I can say that from personal experience, absolutely.
And I can join you with that. It's funny when you talk about, when I started to understand more about the scientific and the chemistries and the dose, acronym there, I started to realize, okay, Tanya, your body's just looking for this chemical reaction. So let's pull yourself out of it. To answer the question about, do you need to love yourself to cultivate gratitude? And Neelam, I'm identifying with you with, there was a time in your life you weren't grateful. And I think we've all experienced that. And I think, thank you for your honesty and your transparency there. I remember thinking to myself when people were like, but you're healthy, you've got a house. And I was like, okay, I get it. I am grateful for that. But I didn't know how to be grateful for me because everybody else taught me how to not be grateful for. There was always something wrong with me. I wasn't enough. And I remember thinking, I just want to be grateful for me. And I didn't know what that looked like, because then it went against everything that I had ever experienced. Was, are you allowed to love yourself? Are you allowed to think something good about yourself? Are you being conceited? Is your ego getting in the way? And all these things started to come up. And then all of a sudden you're just like, I'm about feel the fear and do it anyways. I'm like, well, you know what? I just got to press through it and see what it feels like and be uncomfortable. And you're right. And then I started to appreciate, and your chemistry changes. And you're like, I love me.
And then you're noticing you're saying more thank yous than usual as well, right?
Right. So Shamina, I don't know if you had any of that. We've got about 3 minutes, and then we're 50 minutes left. And I just want to go into some stuff that you guys wanted to share with the audience. But share with us, Shamina, close out with us this evening if you've ever experienced that in your life.
Yes, and I was going to bring this up, but I wasn't sure, if it's going to resonate. But this is like perfect actual opportunity. There is, in psychotherapy, there is a Maslow hierarchy of needs, where the basic needs are, food, shelter, and clothing, and then there is safety, and then there is self-esteem and self-love, and so it goes higher. So when you have everything, then you're saying, okay, I want something more. This is for me, this is nothing. But when you look at somebody else who doesn't have that, comparing to that, then you'll say, okay, what, that guy doesn't even have a car, or doesn't even have a proper housing, whatever it is, right? So what I'm trying to say is that, why wait until you don't have something to appreciate that? For example, a very a real thing is, when you have your health, you don't really look twice that you have your health until something happens to you, and they say, oh my God, when I was healthier, I was able to do this, I was able to do that, right? So, and that's why I really like this appreciation of what is valuable to you, because it makes you go a little bit deeper into yourself. Okay, saying, okay, you know what, 10 cars are not going to bring me happiness. What is really important to me? What is valuable to me? What do I appreciate in my life? And then it kind of brings you down deeper into yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And then you get to know yourself more when you say, okay, what do I want in my life? What is meaningful to me, right? And that's also ties in with, you know, you're going to start to know yourself a little bit more. And then when you start to know yourself a little bit more, you're actually going to like yourself a little bit more. Because this dislike, you know, that you dislike yourself is nothing but a critical voice in your head, a judgmental voice in your head. Because and we all grew up like that. Somebody probably in your family was like that, or a teacher told you something, and then it's stuck there. And now you can't get rid of it, right? So just notice that whose voice is that telling you that, you know, you're not enough or you're not good enough, right? So these are all, like, you know, a good reflection point, and I'm so glad that the audience member is here, so they can go and reflect really, and you know, start their journey. When we do the meditation, I think I'm going to touch on some of the aspects of that, so really to go deeper and see what it is like for yourself.
Okay, well, let's begin.
Okay, so we're going to start a short meditation. It is a gratitude meditation, and it's going to be a shared meditation. So I'll start by just relaxing us, grounding us, and then Shamina will do a little bit of the reflection piece on gratitude. Okay, so we can just start by just settling into our space, wherever that might be, whether it's this chair or a sofa, wherever it is. Just simply close your eyes, ground your feet, feel your feet on the floor. Or if you're on a bed, just feel your feet on the bed. Take a deep breath in and a big releasing sigh out. Let go of your day. Let's do that again a couple of times. A big inhale in, feeling the breath rising, and then exhaling and releasing. Another big belly breath in. Notice how this breath is inhaling, rising, and then a big exhale with a sigh. Allowing yourself to come to this moment. And now with your eyes closed, or your eyes can be lowered, your gaze can be lowered if you wish, if you do not want to close your eyes. Just allow yourself with the intention to just be in this space and place, to spend the next few minutes to be aware of what is happening within you, what is happening around you, and to do so with utmost acceptance, with love, and even with a curiosity, and most importantly, with kindness. So whatever you're meant to experience, that is the experience you will have. Just be open to it. There is nothing good or bad. Experience is just what it is, an experience. Bring your awareness once again to your feet, feeling the surface that your foot is on, allowing your feet to relax, letting go of any tension. Bringing your awareness now to your entire legs. Feel the weight of your legs pressing onto the surface below you. Allow Mother Earth to support you. It is safe to release all tension from your legs. Allow your legs to relax. Breathing in intentional breath into the space of your seat, your glutes, your pelvic region. Often we hold a lot of tension here. Allow your seat, your glutes, your pelvic region to relax. Allow it to loosen. Know that you are fully supported. You're comforted. You are safe. You can let go of all stress and tension in this region. Relaxing your pelvic region. Now shifting your awareness to your lower back and your lower abdomen. Noticing anything that may be there, any discomfort, any holding tension, any stress. Can you allow and give yourself permission with your breath to let go of all tension in this region? Sending your breath with intentionality to this space, allowing more and more space to just naturally take place. Beautiful. Bringing your awareness to your middle back and upper back, as well as your upper abdomen region. Again, breathing deeply into the space. And allow with every breath that is breathing into these regions, your middle back, and upper abdomen, to just allow every breath to simply penetrate through your body and allow it to open even more. Allowing the stress and tension to just fuse out of your body. Bringing your attention now and your awareness to your shoulders. Often there's a lot of tension in the shoulders. We often feel like the whole world's weight is on our shoulders. You can let go of that. Just in this moment, it is safe to do so. Allow the weight on your shoulders to be lifted. Feel space. Feel ease. Allow your shoulders to relax. Bringing your attention now to your neck and your head. Just notice mindfully how your neck and your head is either propped forward or tilted back. Again, you don't need to move it. You don't need to shift it. You don't need to change anything. Just be an observer in relation to the shoulders. Or is your neck propped forward? Is it tilted back? Is it straight? There's no judgment. We're just noticing. Bringing your awareness and attention to your neck and your head. Filling it with breath. Life force breath. Intentionally sending breath to the back of your neck, the front of your neck, your entire head, your forehead, your jaws, allowing your jaws to loosen, to relax, your cheeks, your chin, the front of your neck, releasing and allowing it to relax. Now gently bring your awareness to your heart space, your heart center. Bring your awareness to the space. Bring your breath to your heart center. How does it feel to be in this space with your awareness sitting at your heart? Do you feel a tightness? Do you feel an openness? What do you sense? Again, noticing that this is just an experience. There is no good or bad. Connecting with your heart. Can you breathe deeply into your heart? Allowing every breath with intentionality to open the heart more and more. With every breath you inhale, every breath you exhale. And now taking in love. There is so much love within this audience. We can feel it. Feel love as you breathe into your heart. And as you exhale, allow love to filter out of your heart space to everyone else. Breathing in love. Exhaling love. And continue to do so for another moment or so. Breathing in love. Exhaling love. Allowing the doors of your heart to open even wider and wider.
In the safe space of open heart, reflect on people in your life that you're grateful for. It could be parents, it could be husband, wife, kids, grandparents, friends, anybody. Visualize that person standing in front of you and tell them how much you appreciate them, how valuable they are in your life. Tell them how they make you feel loved and special in your life. If you can't bring an image of a person, then think about your pet, if you have one, or you had one in the past. Whether it's a dog, or a cat, or a horse, or any other animal. Imagine it standing in front of you and thank it for loving you in their special way that no one else can express. Thank your pet for loving you in an unconditional way and how much you appreciated it. Feel your heart expand with love. Now bring your awareness to what you appreciate in nature. Whether it's a hot sunny day, feel the warmth on your cheeks, the warm breeze against your face. Thank the sun for making your days brighter and for being ever present in the sky to give you unconditionally its warmth and light. You can imagine whatever you love in your surroundings and nature. Really appreciate that. Now bring your awareness to you, your body. Really appreciate your body in whatever shape, form, or color. This body has made it possible for you to experience life, to enjoy the sweetness of life, as well as the challenges of life. It has been with you all along since birth. Deeply appreciated for making so many experiences possible and for being your constant companion. Appreciate your heart beating in your chest. Appreciate the blood flowing in your body. It brings you oxygen, gives you life in your body. You can do this for different parts of your body. Appreciate your eyes. They allow you to see beautiful things in life. Now bring your awareness to yourself as a person, as a spirit. Appreciate yourself, your qualities, your triumphs in life, and also your challenges in life. It has not been always smooth, but you have made it here to the present moment. You are here with an open heart. Open to the experiences of gratitude and love. Feel the deep appreciation for yourself. Allow this feeling to expand in your heart and just enjoy this feeling for a couple of moments. When you're ready, let's be thankful that we are able to connect with each other as well as with ourselves in this moment, in this platform. May we continue to feel more gratitude in our lives and appreciate each and every moment. Take time to connect with your breath again. Feel the air going in and air coming out. Wiggle your toes and your fingers. Bring yourself back to the present moment. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes.
That was very nice. Thank you, ladies, for another lovely evening on Tanya Talks. It was really peaceful. Like, I'm not even sure what to say. I'm just in such gratitude mode. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this evening, for tuning in. I'm in such mellow mode. I'm speechless. If you're looking for breakthrough conversations, please visit TanyaRicketts.com. That's going to help you bring your life to the next level and clear the pathway for you. And ladies, that was really remarkable. Thank you for just the slideshows, the connection of it all. Just thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. And thank you.
And thank you all the audiences that joined today. We're really, really grateful for your energy, for your presence.
Yes, thank you everybody for tuning in. Very grateful for all the guests and all the audience and everybody and just the entire, just gratitude. Good night, everybody. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye-bye. Thank you.